Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Operation Arsenal. It's a little bit more intimate today. I broke my chair, so I'm actually sitting on a very comfortable leather chair at my desk. I've got one of those sit-stand desks. I've lowered it all the way down. This does feel very different, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm making the most of this. My chair will be fixed soon. Until then, I'm just playing games, sitting back, watching football, and enjoying my time without having to sit on a broken chair, which is really uncomfortable. But anyway, 2-0 win. Big win today because they're a bit of a bogey side, Brighton. I think it's fair to say that over the last few seasons, it hasn't gone very well, especially at home, actually, against Brighton. But as you can see here, everyone has had a very good game. I'm looking at the scores here for every player, every rating. And I mean, I can't fault a single player today. They all did so well. A special shout out to Declan Rice, who apparently is ill. If that's Declan Rice ill, oh my god, absolutely incredible. What I want to do though is talk about Brighton first because they're such an incredible team, and what they're doing right now with all of these injuries, with the loss of McAllister, Caicedo, and having to play in Europe, it's honestly quite incredible what De Zerbi's done with them. I mean, when you look at their lineup here, it really isn't full of superstars, is it? They've got a few very good individual players in there, but what De Zerbi's doing and what the staff are doing there at Brighton is getting the absolute best out of every single player. I mean, honestly, going into the game, seeing Milner, Lallana, you've got Danny Welbeck on the bench, you've got these very experienced, but let's face it, older players that are definitely not in their prime anymore. But then, of course, you're sprinkling in a bit of flair with Mitoma, Adingra. Big fan of Pascal Gross as well, who is obviously a little bit on the older side as well. Really like Van Eck as well at centre-back, but they're clearly missing Webster. But the main man today, this Lewis Dunk guy, who remembers, I'm sure some Arsenal fans will remember, we were linked with him a couple of years ago. Might have been longer than a few years ago now. It might have been when Emery was here. But either way, he is such a good player. 32 as well, actually. It's a very aging squad, let's be honest. But I think he might just be one of the best centre-backs for a club that's kind of like, just outside the top five. Brighton are very much there or thereabouts. I think he walks into Tottenham. I mean, let's face it, okay? If I go into the Premier League right now, so does he get in the Newcastle team? When Botman's fit, maybe not. But right now, I'd play him ahead of Lascelles for sure. He plays for West Ham for sure. He plays for Man United. He definitely gets into the Tottenham side, as I said. Did I say Tottenham before? I mean, he gets in the Chelsea side. He obviously gets in all the teams near the bottom. I don't think he gets in the Arsenal team. I don't think he gets in the Villa team, the Liverpool team, or the City team. So he's really that good. I'm a big fan of Lewis Dunk, and he literally put his future generation on the line today with one of those blocks that absolutely hammered him where it hurts most. Let's have a look at the stats here as well. Oops, I didn't mean to go back there. This is quite cool using the phone instead of going on the website. Stats. So it took them, I think, 64 minutes to get their first shot, which is ridiculous. And it's weird. It feels like the possession being 50-50, it seems wrong. Is it just me that thinks that sounds wrong? We've dominated the game, for sure. There was only one team that were really pushing to win it. I've got to say, though, there was one moment, I think it was Pascal Gross, that missed an opportunity. And my God, if that goes in, it's 1-1 and the whole game is different. But realistically, it was just Arsenal peppering the Brighton goal, but just a lack of finishing quality. I mean, it is starting to grind me a little bit. We've got all of this possession in and around the box, all of these chances, and we just don't have that final bit of quality to put 3, 4, 5 goals in. It really is going to ruin the season at this rate. I feel like if we don't start putting away these chances more efficiently and more consistently, I don't see how we will actually win the title, because you just have to score those chances. We've had so many misses today. 3 big chances missed. Apparently, it felt way more than that. Corners. 10 corners. Yes, we're good at corners. Yes, we've got a set piece masterclass, one of our coaches. But we just we don't we still don't seem to be doing enough, even though we might be one of the best in the league at it. I just feel like there's still so many chances from corners and free kicks that we're not putting away, which is obviously not ideal. Who was my man of the match today? Oh, it's tricky. I was so glad that Havertz got another goal, but he missed a very simple header earlier in the game, so I can't really give it to him. And Jesus was good. He took his goal well. But, I mean, realistically, it's probably Declan Rice again for me. Saliba would be another good shout. Made one little mistake in the game, but he just impresses me more and more. It's one of those games where I think it's almost impossible to actually decide who was the best player today. Yeah, very, very tricky one. I've got one thing that might upset people. I think maybe it's the wrong time to talk about this, but I've been thinking it for a little while. And there were moments today where Martinelli got on the ball. And I think this could be potentially a reason why he might not be at Arsenal for as long as we might want. Now, look, some of you must be going, what? I love Martinelli. I love him so much. Okay. When we first signed him, when Emery was here, I thought, wow, he must be special if we've just plucked him out of the second division in Brazil, putting a few million into him. And yeah, of course, now he's worth easily 80 plus million. One thing I will say about Gabby Martinelli, it's something that he needs to put into his game soon. He's 22 now, so he's still young, still very young. He's got plenty of time. But I fear that if he doesn't add what I'm about to say into his game, he won't be at Arsenal for that much longer. And that is scanning, looking up. Okay, so I remember, who was it? There was someone doing an interview. Was it Xavi? I think it might have been Xavi from Barcelona. It's the sign of a truly intelligent player when they're about to receive a pass, or even when they're not receiving a pass, they're constantly doing this, checking. And sometimes you see players like Iniesta was an absolute master at this, and maybe that's why it was Xavi, because he played with Iniesta for so long. But the ball will be coming towards him, and he's doing 4 checks. He's squeezing in 4 looks, scanning the environment, scanning where the space is. I challenge you to watch a game with Martinelli playing down that left side and catch him checking 2-3 times before he receives the ball. And then when he gets the ball and moves towards a defender to take him on or looks for a pass, he's not scanning multiple directions. He's very, very much head down, tunnel vision. And that, I mean, for me, that could be his downfall, because I don't think Arteta will want that for much longer. You can see he gets quite animated and a little bit frustrated when Martinelli loses the ball, which happens quite a lot. And you see on the other side of the pitch, you've got Saka, who scans all the time, head up all the time. The amount of assists he gets. His crossing ability, though, Martinelli, I think could improve as well. Although he's got his corners down. Those corners were fire today. When he gets it past the first man, incredible. But I'm just putting it out there, okay? I love Martinelli. I would hate for him to leave Arsenal. I really would. But I think out of all the players that Arteta is building this team around, this core of this Arsenal squad, I think Martinelli is in slight danger if he doesn't bring that scanning intelligence to his game, because he can't keep losing the ball. And there are other wingers that do what I think Arteta would rather have in that left wing position. Ideally, we want 2 Sakas, but obviously that's not possible. And I'm not just having a go at Martinelli, because I love the guy, but it does worry me a little bit because he doesn't get his head up. I made some other notes here, actually. This is very different, isn't it? Getting my tablet out now as well. I talked about the poor finishing. I wanted to talk about the potential of bringing in a striker, because we're linked with Tone, we're linked with Osimhen, and I've just seen today we're linked with Dominic Solanke as well, who, don't get me wrong, he's having a very good season with Bournemouth, but I just don't... not sure how I feel about that. Do you think today, a game where eventually we've won 2-0, so no problems there, right? Would we have 4, 5, 6 goals today if Osimhen was playing in that number 9 role, if Tone was playing in that number 9 role, if Solanke was playing in that number 9 role? It's a tricky thought. I'm not so sure, you know. I look at Osimhen and I saw the assist he got last night for Napoli and think, wow, okay, his link-up play's definitely good. But then I've seen plenty of, well, I don't want to say montages, but highlights of his game where, yeah, of course, he's an incredible goal scorer, but he doesn't get many assists. The timing is brilliant after last night, but in general, Osimhen is not a link-up player, really. He's definitely more of a lethal finisher. He will bag us loads of goals, of course. Whereas Tone, I feel like he's a bit more of an all-rounder. I personally am leaning towards more of a Tone approach and saving a bit of money. We're looking at 60 million maybe, a loan in January and then buying him in the summer, compared to dropping 130 million, potentially, maybe just less than that, on a release clause for Osimhen. I'm looking at the table right now. We're top of the league with all of the injuries we've had, with questionable VAR decisions we've had. We're top of the league. I think we can justify going for whoever we want. It's not like we have the perfect player in mind. A lot of Arsenal fans will say, Osimhen, please, Osimhen, please. A lot of people will say, Tone, please. A lot of people might actually be saying, Solanke might work. I'm not one of them. I just don't... Put it this way. For me, if a new striker comes in, he doesn't instantly take Jesus out of the picture. I think, if anything, it means Nketiah is put to the side, because I don't see how Nketiah gets game time with Jesus and a Tone or an Osimhen ahead. I don't see that. But, yeah. It's going to be a very interesting January. I'm seeing we're linked with Hato from Ajax. I'm seeing we're linked with a few Brazilian players. Solanke. Oh, I don't know about that one. But anyway, guys, normally I get your comments in. I just haven't been able to do that today. Maybe I'll do that next time. But I quite like this more relaxed approach. I'm about to watch the Liverpool-Man United game in 10 minutes. Aston Villa, huge comeback against Brentford, so they go second. West Ham with Kudus, by the way. Oh, I wish we signed Kudus. Really, 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 really do. He would have been fantastic. Paqueta with a hat-trick of assists as well. But as you saw in the table, guys, we are top. And up next, Liverpool.